Good day. This past weekend, the closing ceremonies for the Paralympics took place in Tokyo. Over the summer, both the Olympics and more recently, the Paralympics took place. And our Canadian athletes experienced considerable success in a variety of the events. As I was reflecting upon them, it struck me how much racing is a part of the Olympics. Not just the racing of runners that takes place on the track, but the racing that is part of swimming, of cycling, of rowing and canoeing, of sailboating, lots of sports in which winning the gold, the silver, the bronze, or simply completing and setting a personal best are a significant part of what happens at the Olympic Games. It's interesting that racing also is a concept, an idea that arises in the scriptures, in particular in the epistles. It is a reminder of how much the ancient Greek world influenced the world of that time, and therefore all of history since then. In the letter of 1 Hebrews, the 12th chapter, at its beginning, we hear or are invited to run the race that is set before us. What I understand that to mean is to live our lives in the circumstances that we find ourselves. We are invited actually to run with perseverance the race that is set before us. And so there is within that invitation a suggestion that we have no reason to expect that somehow running the race will be simple or will be easy. There is almost an inherent warning that there could be or will be challenges in the running of that race. Enduring means meeting those challenges and continuing to make our best efforts at running or swimming or whatever it is we're doing, at living. As we consider this idea in the context of the COVID pandemic, it occurs to me that the race we're running is not what we anticipated or hoped for. At some level, most of us hoped that it would be a sprint with a clear beginning and ending, not a marathon. But as, at this moment, COVID positive tests are increasing, especially in this province, the idea of having to endure to continue to run what is perhaps a marathon with no end in sight becomes more real. And so we need to continue doing the things that keep ourselves and keep each other safe. To get the vaccinations as they're available. To do the cleansing. To wear the masks. And be careful in doing the social distancing. To limit the kind of risky contact we have with each other. And that's hard, because most of us continue to have very clear memories of how it was before, and how much we enjoyed visiting with each other, having contact with each other, telling stories to each other, sharing life. The COVID requirements, or the requirements to stay safe, have disrupted all of that. And so we need to be encouraged, as we are by the Scriptures, to run with perseverance the race that is set before us, not only in terms of COVID, but in terms of faith and living that faith. Living our lives in ways that are an expression of joy and wonder, of grace and forgiveness, of gratitude for all that we have been given and all that we have to share.